Before that, it was just some kind of vague shape. Like, it looks blunt and big, but, you know, now you can see, oh, that's some hard and heavy stuff. Hi guys, my name is Baradante, and welcome back to Neonate's horror game characters creation process. Last time, like 10 days ago, we worked on the detailed sculpt of our handyman, Neonate right here, and now we're moving on to the next one of our basic enemies from the game, which is gonna be this guy. We need to come up with a good name. At first I didn't want to come up with names, but yeah, it seems like it's a good idea. It looks like someone's making bread on a table or something like that. But yeah, this is an egg yolk, and this is like a special arm that is protecting it, because the egg yolk is the core, destroying which you kill the neonate. And this guy is very protected, and he has this hard eggshell right here that will do a lot of blunt damage. The first thing that comes to mind is like just tank neonate, but maybe there could be something more inventive in the name. So yeah, before we start, huge apology to everyone that have been gone from the channel for like 10 days, 2 weeks, something in between. I wasn't like lazy or anything. Actually, I was pretty productive, but I had to finish one huge Blender animation, video compositing, all kinds of stuff project that we worked on together with Nadia. Right now, it seems like it's finally completely finished. So yeah, that was quite a week finalizing that project, rendering high quality versions of all the shots for the video and all that. Finally back, finally so happy to get back to working on the game, you know, making videos and everything. Really love doing it, so let's get back to it. Also, I haven't been eating for 3 days right now, which is called prolonged fasting. Oh yeah, one final note. As I promised in the previous video, for sculpting today I'm using Galaxy Tab S3, which is an Android tablet from Samsung, and it has this S Pen with it. It has pressure sensitivity, tilt, and a hardware side button that works as right click. And I'm using this piece of software called Super Display. This software enables your tablet to work really well with Windows, and I just want to give it a really good try today and maybe switch to it permanently, because it seems to be working really well. One thing I had to adjust for in Blender specifically, since there's only one side button and I use it as right click because, you know, right clicks are useful. You can map it to something else on the Android side, so it would be like middle click, which is a very useful thing to do in Blender because you navigate your camera using middle click. So what I did was I reassigned shortcuts in Blender. Not reassigned, you can still use middle click to rotate and everything, but now I use Alt left click to rotate, Alt Control left click to zoom, and Alt Shift to pan the camera. It's very intuitive, works just fine so far. I found one conflict in this shortcut is that if you are in the edit mode and like you select an edge and you want to turn it into a loop selection, you would alt click, and now I can't do it because alt click is now just rotating the camera. So I added that one thing in here. So if you want to select an edge loop, that's how you do it. Works just fine for me. It's a very comfortable layout otherwise. So our neonate has two materials. The egg yolk is one material. It's kind of more yellow, I would say, although I'm not sure. Did we stick to yellow? It's still up to discussion what kind of colors we would have. So our first and main basic neonate has these kind of colors. So that's the egg yolk. It's like darker kind of thing, like waxy pus color thing. I don't know, a little bit of amber in there. And the egg white is pretty much like flesh that has like redness, inflammation to it and all that. And every neonate's egg white has like kind of like the outer normal skin part and then the inner fleshy part, whatever it would be. Is it actually exposing like meat and organs, or is it just like the inside of the mouth, you know, just more red and wet kind of thing, something like that. So that's like the tools we operate with when it comes to Neonate's design when we sculpt further. And yeah, the outside is usually like a very stretched skin, while the inside is usually more detailed and has more like veins and cartilage and all kinds of stuff exposed. So this design implies this kind of spread of detail where it's kind of a simpler, more smooth outer part, but then there's some kind of inner area where there's a lot of cool details exposed if you get a chance to look at it. I think it's a cool thing to do. So in this Neonate, in the tank, I guess, whatever you guys come up with, I'll rename the video to have that name in here. Yeah, it's very Freudish in here, with the arm going between the butt cheeks, which is great. And yeah, so the inside part will be obviously starting somewhere in here where the legs start disintegrating into some kind of exposed bones and all that, tendons. So yeah, there will be a lot of cool stuff going on in there. Also, the inside part of the eggshell could also have some kind of stretching kind of stuff. And of course, we will be adding the thing that was added in all the previous Neonates, which is this kind of stretching thing onto the egg yolk. The egg yolk is always like connected to the egg white using these streaks of egg white. And I think specifically in this design, it may look really awesome because for the streaks, we have quite a lot of space in here to make them really extend. It would look really cool. So yeah, let's go. Knowing from my previous experience, I know I need to separate these two objects right now, like the egg yolk and the egg white are two separate poly groups or whatever. They're not actually defined as poly groups. They're loose stuff, whatever it's called. Separated by loose parts, yeah. So it's this and this. And they need to be separated because when I use Dynamesh, Dentopo is called in Blender. Yeah, Dentopo is working, that's for sure. So are legs completely asymmetrical? Oh yeah, they're very much asymmetrical. So no symmetry for this guy today. So yeah, the legs are broken off in the spirit of some kind of statue or something. I feel like it should go that way. But also, of course, it will have the fleshy material to it. So not like a statue at all, right? These are cut off legs. I feel like getting rid of some very strong cavities in this part. Like these areas should be kind of like molded together. If anything, I'll add like, you know, stretchings like this or something. So that kind of design language here. Maybe that's a bit too strong, like too specific of a stretching thing. Sometimes it should just not have such strong holes, right? Yeah, some variety like that. Also, the stretches should start from afar. So yeah, with Neonates, my favorite brush is just this default draw brush, right? Yeah, it's called draw. It works just right with the whole design of Neonates because they are covered in goop. Everything, all the details you see, they're kind of like covered in some kind of membrane, kind of like an egg would have or something. Is just the right thing to do. And generally, I talked about it before, but I grew to appreciate the default draw brush in sculpting a lot more. Just smooth bumps and holes. In many cases, it's exactly what you need. Like clay is great and all, but when you are working on details, clay really works against you because it introduces so much of these rough looking stuff, and you'll have to go all over the place fixing that. But for sketching, 3D sketching, when you search for the bigger design, it's totally awesome. I think I want to look up some butt muscle references. What are they called? They're not butt muscles. Lower back? Okay, I actually want to have a look at like the extreme example, since this is a tank. That Mr. Universe guy, yeah, I don't remember his name, but he's insane in terms of having super dry musculature. I think this is him. This kind of photos is the best way to learn anatomy, because we don't need to know what's going on deep inside. We need to know what it actually does on the outside. I mean, there is a reason to learn anatomy deeper, of course, especially if you do zombies or something. And in my case as well, like this kind of stuff we won't be able to reference from an athlete. But generally for like normal surface anatomy, not a single other anatomy reference will give you this level of understanding of the shape. And this is crazy. So apparently these upper wings are pretty big. The butt muscles are so unusual. And they kind of blend into the leg muscles like that. That's cool. Oh, that's quite a shot right there. Damn, son. Oh my god. That doesn't look like human at this point. Just some kind of abstraction. It's like the other side of being a beast. So apparently I kind of overdid these back muscles. It's more like these muscles should be really big. If we trust Mr. Universe. I mean, maybe I should tone down the fiber on the butt. Maybe. Just literally smooth it all out a bit. I like the way it's resembling an athlete, but yeah, it still needs to be covered in goop kind of thing, so tone it down a notch. That's better. It was pretty hard to see anything there. This box hide thing, it's cool, but I'd very much enjoy having a lasso hide, and it doesn't seem to have any options in that regard. Okay, now I'm just looking at someone's butt. I don't even need this reference. Let's go with a hand. So this huge arm we have here definitely deserves some nail definition, but still not going too far with it since everything's supposed to be gooped up. Okay, let's add those streaks of egg white on the egg yolk, probably with the snake hook. And Dentopo is turned off again, of course. Why wouldn't it be? I wonder for how long was it turned off? Okay, one more and that's it. So far it's kinda not going very well, but that's because I need to introduce pretty massive lines coming from all of this and all that, just like that. So yeah, the geometry in here will change quite a lot. Let's add some shape dynamics to these things. I don't want it to look like a stovetop. So yeah, these things can get a lot more complex here with branches of these flowing streams. Alright, now let's do some reaction of the egg yolk. By the way, you can switch between sculpting like that, between sculpting different objects by clicking, like right now in the sculpting mode, click on the other button of a different object and you start sculpting that object. So you can kind of switch between objects like subtools and ZBrush. Makes things a lot faster. It's a shame I can't have a hidden part of a different object, like the hand is back, because I'm in a different object. That's not very convenient. Oh my god, Dentopo, could you just be on? Yeah, this custom profile lets me add like a bulge much better. So the default one would be like this. Yeah, I made it like this. This way I don't get a sharp edge at the end still, but I get much more of a like unsmooth, like rounded shape this way, like a balloon kind of thing, which is much more fitting for this shape. Yeah, really hard. And like I can't hide it because then I won't see all the streaks as well, but I mean, I guess I can eyeball something. Ooh, that's some squished egg yolk. I mean, I think I was planning for doing something like this. For the massive guy, he would have like an enlarged, bloated egg yolk. That's looking kind of cool. Now let's introduce some more intense geometry on all the insides with just a smaller brush. I'll keep this profile for a little while. Ah, Dentopo. I guess I should actually, as I think about it, I should probably like select the hand and turn it away from the egg yolk. Like, this is a good pose. It was a great pose for the 3D sketch, but now we really need to sculpt and then texturize and then rig. All of that could really use objects being a bit, or like surfaces not being that close to each other. It's just not a good way to go about it. Oh no, X-ray mode, really necessary. Oh my god. Could you use topology, please? Connected only, yeah. I'll save, because apparently it takes a while because of the high topology. Nope, now it's actually easier. Okay, well that's way better. It's not sticking out perfectly, but I think we can work with that now. Need to fix some shapes down here, but otherwise, pretty good stuff. Alright, all good. Okay, that's enough for that fall off. Let's use normal one because it's not blending in very well. Okay, now let's add like a crack part on the edges of the eggshell. That makes sense. Oh, that's interesting. It looks like now a pretty defined crack of a very thick shell. Before that, it was just some kind of vague shape. Like, it looks blunt and big, but, you know, now you can see, oh, that's some hard and heavy stuff. Kinda cool. A little extra crack to support the main crack edge. Alright, so far this is the kind of level of detail I want from this. Maybe I'll add a little bit of those texture kind of knots or something on the egg yolk, so it wouldn't be just a blob of dough. So we'll see how this goes. Oh my god. Yeah, that's what happens with materials in Dentopo mode. Not with materials, it's the vertex color. Okay, let's say it's like this for now, although these colors are far from correct. Yeah, anyway, that's our guy, the most unusually looking kind of guy. And yeah, I think the definition really worked to its advantage. Now you clearly understand what you're looking at. Those butt muscles though. But yeah, the insides of the eggshell are now crazy, like that's some intense Geiger stuff going on or something. Pretty cool. I like that I decided to do that. It looks great. And yeah, the front is just this hard, menacing shell. So yeah, this is it. Tell me guys what you think about the result, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye! How the hell do I animate this guy with a motion capture suit? Quite the pose to take. No idea how to do that. Probably not literally by taking this pose.